Okay, sounds good.
If you need to hold on to anything, you just push down into that.
Okay,
It's good practice for your me speech.
that is true.
You're going to use this too.
We have a lot of people.
Yeah, you're all good.
Okay.
Once you get up here, it'll be easier. It's just the waiting. Yeah. Okay. All right. They're all set.
Thank
Do you want to keep that up here or do you want to bring it up with you?
I'll just keep it.
You sure?
Here.
Okay.
Or I'll just put it right
Yeah, it sounds good. Do you want to practice adjusting the mic? You want to practice adjusting your mic again, just to make sure you know?
You have my
I do. It's
thing,
right
right?
here.
Okay. It's just like.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. Okay.
Here.
We'll just leave them.
All right, you'll be first, so yours will be up here. When you're done, can you put them down here for me? Because this is for Benecke, her intro. Okay. Okay, we got them in order.
Good.
Okay, so Mike, you want to adjust it with both hands?
Gotcha.
You want it to be about right there.
And my sister doing it with me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
I got the note.
Perfect.
Okay. Great.
Yes, this is me. The rest is her.
Okay.
But she's got her own. But yeah. Oh, I'm scared.
You'll be fine. This is just like acting.
Yeah, that's so true.
Except you're yourself. It just makes it a little more hard. It's a little hard. But I was just telling them, like, the nerves you have is really good because you know this. Like, it's good to be nervous before a show because it gives you more energy.
Yeah.
So,
oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right. You can take off your mask when you're up
here.
here.
Okay, good.
Do you want to keep this up here? You want to carry it up? You want to keep looking at it until?
Yeah, I'm going to keep looking at it until, and I'll bring it up.
Okay. So you'll be introduced, right? It's your sister's name, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so I don't know who it is. It's Kate or Jackson. They'll introduce you. I'm just going to keep the mic right here since hopefully Kate and Jackson can adapt. And how tall is Molly? Is she your height?
She's like this probably.
Where is she? Is she over
She's,
there?
I don't know. Where? Yeah, that's her.
Can you get her?
Molly. 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 Oh, Molly. She can't hear me.
Molly, come on up.
Yeah. What? Molly. 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 Here she comes.
Just gonna adjust the knife so it works for both of you. Hi, Molly. I'm Miss Reynolds. Come on up. I want you to adjust the mic for you. I just want you to get a sense. You've done your senior speech up here, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we want the mic then. I don't want it to block your face. Come in, Charlie. Okay. So then
Okay.
you'll speak. It's pretty good, but you'll just have to move in
Okay.
once it's your time.
Okay.
Well, I've got this.
Can-
Are you using mine too?
Yeah.
Print out
yeah.
two more, but okay, that's
I know. I got all of them, Charlie.
okay. Good. All right.
Okay. You guys feel good?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. Okay.
Is Tommy going first?
Yes.
He
So
is.
yes.
Okay.
So you'll be introduced, both of you, and then you'll come up as soon as that's over, and then you can acknowledge him in whatever way you want.
Yeah.
And then you'll go back to your seats.
Okay.
Perfect.
Sound good?
Yes.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Alrighty, you're all set, guys. Charlie, you want it?
Are those the speech right there? Yeah, I'm just gonna leave this one there, actually.
Okay. I'll put it down here.
Double space or single?
Double.
Ours is-
14.5.
Ours is 2 singles. You have
12.
2 double space, 12 font. Ours is gonna be longer than yours.
It's supposed to be 150 words,
Do I have to
guys.
adjust the mic ever?
I sent you that.
Yeah, I'm just like about.
No, it's not.
Wait, do I adjust this? Like,
Yeah, so
Yeah,
you'll
but we
adjust
figured
it.
because his speech
Like
is so
that?
short, it counterbalances.
Okay, all right.
how do I adjust it like this?
So you do two hands.
Yeah?
Yeah, you're gonna want to pull it up. So, and then you can move that down.
Okay. Like this down?
That's perfect where it is. Yeah, we can go up and down. Try it.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Good morning, Upper School. Welcome to the senior speeches for the class of 2022. We ask that you please silence your cell phones before the event to honor today's speakers. Our speaker today is Tommy Fitzgerald. Tommy will be introduced by his siblings, Molly and Charlie.
Normally, having an older brother means having a mentor, someone who teaches you the ways of the world. Tommy has definitely filled this role, but not in the most conventional way. We were always together growing up, and Tommy and I would dream up the best adventures to go on, or games to play, or even things to draw. He taught me to play Mario Galaxy, even if I was just the helper monkey. I was always so excited to get his hand-me-downs because I wanted to look like him. When we both first got Instagram, Tommy a kid puzzle. Of course, I post the exact same picture on my Instagram directly after he did. So while I definitely looked up to him for the ways to behave, he also has taught me another very valuable lesson: things not to do. For example, one day, my mom got the call that she had to go into our school in Germany and speak to the principal. Tommy was in trouble yet again. When my mom got there, the principal informed her that Tommy had yelled the B word in class. Yes, B as in boy. When the principal asked Tommy to repeat the word he'd said, Tommy sheepishly answered,
Vagina.
So I knew never to say that at school. I also learned how not to break up with someone. He broke up with his first girlfriend by leaving a Post-it note in her locker that simply said,
I break up.
I'm sure he's regretted that decision ever since. When I went to other people's houses as a kid, I always saw their siblings fighting. But Tommy and I didn't. We were just always best friends. I have always been and always will be grateful for getting all of my life lessons from Tommy. A unique teacher for sure, but definitely the best I could ask for. Tommy, I will miss you so much when you leave for college, and I guess I'll have to figure out how to live on my own.
First of all, Tommy, I just feel like I have to publicly thank you so much for being the family scapegoat. Someone has to do it, and you do such a fantastic job. I'm not really sure how much I believe in reincarnation, but if I did, I'd guess this is maybe my third or fourth life. Charlie knows so many things that he shouldn't know, so this is maybe his last life. Tommy is on his first. Tommy doesn't know things that he should know. For example, he doesn't know you aren't supposed to put leftover sushi in the microwave, or that you will probably get fired if you show up 4 hours late to work, or that you can't just put butter and peanuts in the microwave to make peanut butter. Just things like that. He literally sent my mom to therapy when he was like 3 because he started describing what it was like to be born. His exact quote:
Hey Mom, remember when I was in a really dark place and it was so warm and I saw white and I really didn't want to leave, but I had to go out?
I mean, I think that's all pretty good evidence that this is his first time here. All I know is that I'm so lucky I get to be with him through it all as he tries it out. The other day, my grandma told my mom this story about me and Tommy. She said a few months after we moved to Germany and started school, my grandparents and mom and dad came to surprise us on the playground. There were 2 separate playgrounds. One was for the elementary school kids and one was for the preschool kids. And I was in 2nd grade, Tommy was in kindergarten, so we used separate playgrounds. So they saw all my friends running around playing at recess, but they didn't see me. And they were like, "Where's Molly?" and looked, and finally they found me crouched by the gate separating the 2 playgrounds, holding hands with Tommy through the bars. Tommy has always been my best friend, but even though I've spent my whole life by his side, I still constantly wonder what's going on inside of his head, as I'm sure many of his teachers do too. Luckily, his incredible talent for art offers glimpses into how his mind works. And from what I've seen and know, it is an extraordinary place. Tommy, you are one of the most unique people in the world, and I wish I could be more like you. I'm beyond lucky to know you. They say you can't choose your family, but if I could, I would choose you 1,000,000 times. I've missed your constant presence in my life since I've gone to college, and I'm counting down the days until you're only a 30-minute train ride away.
I'm sure everyone in this room has been yelled at before, and I'm also sure many of you have learned from your mistakes in order to not have a similar situation unfold in the future. For me, when yelled at or given a consequence, my mind's first instinct for a long time had been to view the persecutor as the enemy. When I was in 5th or 6th grade, I made a majority of my decisions based on my impulses. If there's something that I wanted to do, it usually felt like more than a need than a want. There were the countless 3-strike systems put in place by my teachers when I would always manage to somehow get a 4th strike. I can't even tell you how many detentions I received in 6th grade for such decisions. I remember one day after lunch, I was walking back downstairs to my locker with my friends when I decided to violently karate kick the door open right by Miss Page's office, only to hear a scream from her office, "Tommy, that's 2 points." Once I got to high school, the impulsivity continued to manifest itself in my everyday actions. Around this time, I also developed a really bad habit for being late to literally everything, as I got more comfortable with how close I lived to school. During my regional cross-country meet my freshman year, a bearded KCD senior flat-tired me on the muddy tarmac that led into the woods of Creasy Mahan. After struggling to put my shoe back on, I sprinted to the kid and in an instant decided to push him and curse him out as I excelled past him. This situation may have been dismissed if it weren't the case that both my coaches and the coaches were standing right on the sidelines when I had my outburst of rage at the kid twice my size, who at the end of the day most likely tripped me on accident. Fast forward to later in the year when on a ski club trip, Parker Adams, Francisco Bajandas, and I decided we'd take on the steepest jump in the entirety of Perfect North. Francisco went first. He fell on his back and hit his head, followed by Parker, who skied around the jump after seeing Francisco's. I was a little further behind, so I didn't see either of them in their approach to the jump, And the only thing I was thinking about as I gained speed was how much airtime I would get. Oh, I got airtime all right. Once I'd gone off the jump, I was 20 feet in the air, awaiting my certain death. I ended up breaking my tailbone and hitting my back in a way that led to 1 year of back pain. Because of all such instances of acting from impulse and ending up making a poor decision, I've been told what to do and what not to do hundreds of times by parents, teachers, and peers. I've received countless advice and have been given many, many lectures on what I could do differently to live a more intentional life. While all such lessons have been helpful in some ways, years and years of lectures made me begin to harbor feelings of incompetence, and eventually I stopped listening to what people had to say about my attitude and my actions as a whole. I'm sure plenty of you have at some point heard me respond to advice with, "I already knew that," or "I'm fine," or even "Shut up, you don't know how I operate." I would even lie to myself saying that I was fine, and then I'd believe it. This mindset was crafted from my subconscious telling me that I'm right and everyone else is wrong. But the truth is, everyone makes mistakes, and I'm not exempt. It's taken me a long time to realize that they see me as incompetent when they're giving me advice, but instead, they're just trying to help out and be nice. Nowadays, I have a much healthier relationship with myself and others. I try to listen intently without justifying everything, and I try to share willingly without lying or sugarcoating. I'm still not perfect in the field of good communication, and I will never listen to my friends' advice to stop playing obscure Michigan rap wherever I go. But I'm happy knowing that the people who love me have my best interest in mind, just as I have theirs. Thank you.
Our second speaker today is Anna Chung. Anna will be introduced by Sarah.
Hello, I'm Sarah Chung, and I'm Anna Chung's older but shorter sister. But in addition to that, I'm also the reason that she is here with us today. Let me explain. So little me was born in 2001, so I'm kind of a little older than most of you. And originally, I was meant to be an only child. Shout out to all the moms out there, because I feel like just having one child is difficult. I can barely help my roommate take care of her cat, so anyway. Well, less than 2 years later, eventually I was enrolled in preschool. And of course, I did the whole thing where little kid finally leaves their parents for the first time and bawls their eyes out. So of course, I was that little kid who bawled their eyes out for about the first 15 minutes before finally being coaxed into the school after a bit. However, things changed later that day when I came home to my mom and I was gushing about all my new friends and how I love them so much and how I just want to hang out. And then my mom thought to herself, and I quote, "Oh no, I'm gonna have to do it again." And so that's how my 2-year-old self got my wonderful sister back to the nurse for the first time, saying, "Okay, you can have her back now." Nowadays, she's a bit too big for me to cradle, again, the whole shorter thing, but I'm positively proud to be her older sister. Please welcome Anna Chung.
I assume everyone knows the term sheeple. It is usually a derogatory way to describe someone who doesn't think for themselves and just follows. But I don't think it's a negative thing. I am a sheeple. I've always followed people around because if they do it first, I know what's on the other side. I'm a very cautious person. I do not deviate from my normal. I have the same exact routine every weekday, and as a result, I don't take a lot of risks. I don't even try new foods because some textures weird me out. As I've gotten older, though, I've begun to take calculated risks. I take risks that I know I will probably enjoy and risks where I'll find success, which I guess some people wouldn't say are risks, but for me, Anything new is out of the ordinary. If I was a sheeple, my sister was the shepherd. Firstly, my sister and I looked a lot alike. It didn't help that we had the same hairstyle and still kind of do, but we were told by many that we looked like twins, so we were often paired together as being essentially the same person. I even answered to the name Sarah for a very long time. Up until high school, I followed my sister like a shadow. I copied her path. I went to the same school, did the same activities. I was a carbon copy of Sarah. Her friends called me Sarah 2.0. If she did quick recall, played volleyball, soccer, tried out basketball, did archery, swam, then I did it too. I think I did almost everything she did, except for t-ball, which after my sister's poor experience, my parents didn't even try with me. I even became a goalie, because guess what? My sister was a goalie, so it's no longer people called me Sarah too. Even though my cautious attitude kind of made my own personal identity a little muddy, following my sister was definitely the best thing I could have done as a child. I found my love of sports and quick recall. I also had someone who would help me with my homework because my sister had completed the same exact work 2 years earlier. Most importantly, though, I had security. Being a follower allows you to explore ideas and interests safely. Following my sister allowed me to find out who I was comfortably, which, in my opinion, is the best and most effective way to do so. When I got to 7th grade, teachers pushed how important it was to be a leader. There was a lot of pressure on 12-year-olds to make some sort of difference in the world when we were simply trying to find our way. I began to buy into this idea that I was only valuable if I was somehow a leader who took charge, which is a stupid idea looking back on it. Realizing I was copying someone my whole life, I flipped to the other side where all I wanted to do was make my own name. I began correcting people more aggressively when they called me Sarah, and when I got to high school, I took different classes with teachers who knew very little about her. One of those classes was marine biology. I really enjoyed this class, even though the teacher was a bit odd, but the teacher made no comments about my sister, which was a nice start, but there was still something lingering. You see, a senior who was extremely competitive with my sister was in my class. Every time my sister would outscore her on a test or some other academic-related activity, her obsession with beating my sister grew. And this obsession somehow reached me. One time during class, my sister and I were having just a normal conversation. My friend and I were just having a normal conversation, and this girl walked up to us and T-posed. You know that trend where people would make themselves look like a T to seem powerful? Yeah, that T-pose. I asked her, as someone would if they were confused, "What are you doing?" And she said, "Intimidating the sophomores." My friend and I did not care, because why would we, and resumed our conversation. But it seemed like I still couldn't get away from being my sister's disciple. Then, when I got accepted into the National Honor Society, I got a letter, but it was addressed to Sarah instead of me. You may be wondering, how was I sure it was for me? Well, my sister was already in the National Honor Society. She did not need another acceptance, and I had just applied, so I was upset, of course. Was it really that hard to get my name right? Was I really so like my sister that you don't even know which one of us recently submitted an application? If it wasn't clear before, it was definitely clear now. I was not far enough away to be my own person. So I moved schools. I moved here where no one knew Sarah, and no one would call me Sarah. My sister had never moved schools like I had just done. I had to make that decision on my own without knowing what was on the other side. This decision led to many new experiences for me. At Collegiate, there were only 1 or 2 familiar faces. I didn't have my sister there to introduce me, so I had to learn to introduce myself. I tried out lacrosse, which I had never played before, and has become one of my favorite sports. Along with my outside activities, I got to take a few classes that maybe I wouldn't have taken at Assumption, like AP Chemistry and AP Psychology. So taking my steps and leading my own life did amount to some really great things, but I was only able to feel comfortable taking these risks because I had spent time following my sister to find out who I was. So yes, people should strive to make their own path. It can lead to great experiences that you may have never thought you'd have, but before you do that, take as much time as you'd like as a follower. It'll help you find out what you care about and what you believe in, which will allow you to make choices that help you work towards finding yourself further. If you aren't ready to leave that pre-made path, then take your time and develop yourself a little more until you are ready to go to the unknown. I am proud to have been a sheeple. Being cautious did not infringe upon my new experiences. It just helped me choose what risks I took. Thank you.
Our third speaker today is Parker Benecke. Parker will be introduced by his sister, Ellie.
Hi, I'm Ellie Benecke. I'm Parker's little sister. Parker, ever since he was younger, has always been my biggest protector and sometimes my biggest bully, but that's just kind of sibling-ish. As you guys know, Parker is allergic to almost everything. So when I was little, we were at my pops' house and I got mad at Parker for teasing me while I was eating a peanut butter sandwich. So I wiped peanut butter all over him. He was fine though, unfortunately. Sometimes that is just our tough love. Now he makes fun of me now that I'm allergic to peanuts and a lot of other things, so I guess it's payback. Now that we've grown up and Parker's going off to college in the fall, I'm definitely going to miss having someone to tease and always have someone to drive me around. He will always be my best friend, I could not be more thankful to have him as a brother.
For most, peanut butter is a delicious spread for sandwiches, fruit, and many other foods. For me, peanut butter is deadly. Yes, as most of you know, I'm allergic to all nuts, an allergy I've had as long as I can remember. Well, as long as I can remember eating peanut butter. When I was around maybe 2 or 3 years old, my mom had left a jar of Jiffy peanut butter out on the kitchen counter while she ran upstairs. Being the naturally curious kid that I was, I decided to stick my hand in the jar to grab a handful of peanut butter to try. I sat at the counter stuffing my mouth with peanut butter until my mom came down to find me covered. I was soon throwing up all over the kitchen. This later led to me getting allergy tested. Sure enough, I was allergic to all nuts and eggs. I am used to being teased by my dad's side of the family, as I am one of the youngest cousins of 12. Anytime I went over to one of my cousins' houses, my cousins would give me a swirly. For those of you who don't know what a swirly is, it is when you're picked up upside down and held from your ankles above a toilet while your hair is dipped in the water. As disgusting as it sounds, I always seem to laugh. One time, though, I didn't laugh. Once when my dad's side of the family gathered for the holidays and gift exchanges, my Aunt Anne gave me 2 gifts. Since my birthday and Christmas are only a week apart, I usually receive gifts at the same time. For Christmas, my aunt gave me a dozen eggs, but for my birthday, she gave me an even more exciting gift, a Barbie doll and a bag of peanuts. Being the 6-year-old that I was at the time, I burst in. That wasn't my last experience with peanuts, though. I don't exactly remember who I was, but one day after school when I was younger, I had decided I wanted some frozen yogurt from a nearby frozen yogurt shop, Menchie's. Menchie's had all the frozen yogurt flavors and toppings you could think of. I had gone to Menchie's dozens of times before, but this time was like no other. I had decided to load my frozen yogurt with jumbo-sized M&Ms. Who would not want double the size of M&Ms? I had always wanted these the times I had eaten there before, but my parents always refused to let me add them to my frozen yogurt. Of course, there was a good reason they wouldn't let me eat the jumbo M&Ms. They were, as you probably guessed, peanut M&Ms. As I took a bite, I quickly noticed it did not taste like a regular M&M. I quickly spit it out and saw the peanut in my hand. Panicked, I ran to the bathroom to wash my mouth out. Luckily, in this situation, I did not have an allergic reaction. I've always been pretty cautious
of what I eat, I try to read the ingredients to check whatever I'm eating might contain. Since that first incident with the Jiffy jar, I've never had an allergic reaction to nuts. However, as most seniors may recall, from sophomore year, especially those in my French 2 class of 22 people, the time I did have a bad allergic reaction. While in Mr. Rucker's class one day, Xander Scott had brought a strawberry banana smoothie to class. Before finishing the smoothie, Xander offered me the rest. I had not had a fruit smoothie in years, but I decided to finish it off. Within 5 minutes, my mouth and lips began to itch and my chest began to hurt. It was getting harder and harder to breathe. While Mr. Rucker was meeting with a student, unaware of the event, the rest of the class began to panic. Xander pulled out an EpiPen out of my backpack, afraid my reaction would worsen. Mr. Rucker then noticed the commotion, and I deeply worried him. Mr. Rucker, I'm sorry for disturbing the class and worrying you. Mr. Rucker quickly called the nurse to take me to her office to give me a Benadryl that calmed my reaction. After the ordeal in French class, I looked into why I was having this reaction. It turns out that I apparently have something called oral allergy syndrome. Who would have guessed someone could be allergic to fruit? Apparently, it is an allergic reaction that happens because my immune system can't tell the difference between proteins in some fruits and pollen. Despite all the teasing from my friends and family about being allergic to everything, including nuts, eggs, rice, soy, milk, oats, and most fruit, I cannot express my appreciation enough for the care of not only my family, but my friends and teachers as well. I hope during lunch, whenever anyone gets a chance to eat today, you can enjoy some fruit and a PB&J.
Thank you so much to Tommy, Anna, and Parker. Let's give them another round of applause. Okay, beautiful people, we hope to see you tomorrow at conferences. Have a great long weekend.